So I've made just over $7 million online in just a few years, and I don't post to social media. So in this video, I'm going to show you why social media is secretly destroying most businesses, why it's way more work than you've been told it is, and I'm going to show you how the platforms trick you into thinking you're winning when you're not. At the end, I'm then going to reveal the simple YouTube system that I use that's way less work, drives real performance, and turns viewers into buyers without any social media at all. So to start, let's just be clear, though, about what I mean by social media, because some of you are going, YouTube social media, which is fair. So when I say social media, I'm not talking about long-form YouTube videos here. What I'm talking about is short-form videos like TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts. These are the big problem and the biggest distraction since people used to mop up their Tamagotchi's poop in the 90s. All right, so now we're on the same page. Let's just list the problems with social media that are going to hold your business back. So the first problem is simply that you've been sold a complete lie. And the lie is that short form is faster and easier to make than long form YouTube videos. But let me just show you why that's complete nonsense. So here I've got these two glasses, one for YouTube and one for short form. And then I've got these M&Ms. And every M&M represents one task you have to do to get a result. So let's start with YouTube. Now, I recommend that businesses post 4 videos a month to YouTube. So in terms of tasks to complete, that is 4 hooks, 4 scripts, then we got to make 4 thumbnails, then we're going to shoot them all in one batch, then we're going to edit them, so let's edit 4 videos, then we're going to post them, and we're going to track 4 videos results, and that's kind of it. But now let's compare it to the work you have to put in to get short form to work for you. So a lot of the advice you're going to see online about how to grow on these platforms is going to tell you to post one piece of content every day. So that means you need to come up with 30 ideas, which is without doubt the hardest part of this all, then 30 hooks, then 30 scripts. But then we're going to have to do 30 edits. And this is where it gets really time consuming because the advice you are given is to post short form videos across multiple platforms. So what that means is we then have to upload 90 pieces of content. And then we need to write 90 descriptions to go below those videos because that's how short form videos work now. Everyone's reading the description below, not watching the video. And then we need to track the performance of 90 different pieces of content and reply to 90 different places where dirty little trolls are going to send us horrible things. Look at this. So whoever managed to convince the world that short form was easier must have been called Mark Zuckerberg, because clearly that is a lie. But this is only the first problem. This gets so much worse. The second issue is this. So a few years ago, a friend of mine went all in on Instagram to grow their business, while I was all focused on YouTube. And it was during COVID, and we both got sick at the same time, and we couldn't work for a few weeks. They stopped posting, and instantly their sales dropped. Because on Instagram, when you stop posting new stuff, it doesn't really push the old, so your pipeline drops up. Meanwhile, I didn't post to YouTube, but my revenue stayed the same. In fact, I think I made just a little bit more than the month before because YouTube keeps pushing your old videos. And that's the beauty of YouTube, is evergreen. So when someone discovers you, the platform serves up more of your past videos to them automatically. And they're not just pushing videos that are a week old, they'll push videos that are like 3 or 4 years old. Compare that to Instagram and TikTok, where your post has maybe 24 hours before it disappears. Some videos go for longer, Ed. Yeah, we know. So not only do you have to do all of these tasks, it also turns business owners into prisoners who can't stop doing these tasks, otherwise they lose money. Now, I have to admit, YouTube, yes, it is evergreen. But if you do stop posting eventually, you're going to find that your sales slow. But at least it gives you like weeks or a month just to have some time off. Now, the next problem, things are about to get even worse because at the start of this year, 2 of my friends, they both had YouTube channels. They decided they just couldn't quite resist the lure of massive, easy views from short form videos anymore. And they both messaged me to tell me their strategy, all excited. And that was they were going to post 30 videos a month across TikTok, Instagram, and Shorts for like 90 days just to see what would happen. A month later, one had blown up multiple videos and had grown his email list by 150,000 people. The other had booked his calendar full of sales calls. I almost thought maybe I should be doing this too. But a few months later, I caught up with them, and the first had deleted the entire 150,000 person list because it was full of people begging for money, giving them death threats, and almost had no conversions to sales at all. And the second cancelled all the calls because the leads were so bad, people just turned up without any idea, knowing what they'd even signed up for. And both said the exact same thing. I'm going to stop. I don't even know why I bothered in the first place. I've always known nothing can beat YouTube. And that is the truth about short form. Yes, it can drive numbers, but it's a master of attracting the wrong kind of people. Which then brings us on to the next problem that this has for businesses. And this is that the social media platforms lie to you about how many views you're actually getting. Because on TikTok and YouTube Shorts, they count a view as the instant a video loads. So a view doesn't mean anyone's listened or taken in any value at all. Now, in the long form world, YouTube would actually call this an impression. An impression is simply where they put your content in front of someone on the platform. And in long form YouTube, they count a view as around 30 seconds. Now, the reason this matters so much is because so many people go to short form for the massive easy views. But that's like going to the YouTube studio and ignoring a video's views and just celebrating the amount of impressions it gets, which if you look will usually be 20 to 30 times higher than the actual views you really got. So if you're thinking it's easier to get views on short form, just keep in mind a view isn't a view, it's just an impression and not a sign anyone watched. Now, admittedly, on Instagram, it's not as bad. A view is under 3 seconds, wow, but let's get real. That's still not a view, is it? That's the length of a few sneezes. Now, the next big issue with this social media thing is something that you can test at home too. So the moment I decided to delete Instagram for good was the day when I pulled out my phone just to sort of pop onto Instagram for a couple of minutes. And half an hour later, I snapped out of the doom scroll and I couldn't remember anything at all that I'd watched. And that's the real problem with short form. It's conveyor belt content. The whole game incentivizes you to just hook people over and over again. But when you see 100 hooks in 15 minutes flying past on the conveyor belt, how can you possibly remember all of that information that's just passed? So I thought to myself, why put so much time and effort into short form content when nobody's going to remember it anyway? And then there's the final nail in the coffin, especially for small businesses. So if you want to grow a business online, all you really need to do is catch this apple 1,000 times. It's not hard, right? Now, this apple represents looking after your clients and doing such a great job, they refer you to more people. And that's pretty much how most offline businesses have grown for hundreds of years. But in the online space, we all want to grow faster than just referrals, right? So what we do is we seek out platforms to promote ourselves on. The thing is, they all have their own little rules that you need to master to get results. So each takes up a huge amount of time, meaning every social media platform you take on is another apple to catch. So let's say we do TikTok, and then we've got LinkedIn, and then we've got Instagram. Suddenly, I can't do it. You're trying to juggle 5 or 6 apples at the same time, and look how bad I am at this. And what that means is you get no results in any of them because you don't give any of them the focus that is required to have any kind of real impact. And that's why I don't think most businesses should bother with social media at all, because if you do what I did, you can make millions just juggling 2 apples, which I can sort of do. Let's just address the elephant in the room, and that is that surely short form and social media can't be that bad, right? Because so many people are growing businesses with it. And you're right, they have, but here's how I look at it. And so the whole point of short form for me is volume, where you basically flood the top of your funnel with a ton of views, and then you funnel those people down to your offer. And the idea is you get so much flipping volume, it doesn't matter if 90% of it is garbage, because there's still so many people who remain to sell to. But that works, but only if you have the sales systems you drive these people to that pre-qualifies them so they don't fill up your call booking with trash. And only if your sales page is optimized to convert these colder viewers because they need more warming up when they get to your page, as they've only watched 3 minutes of your content anyway and they've forgotten what half of it was about. And then this only works if you actually have the capacity, the team, and the systems in place to take on a vast amount of new business very fast. Because if you don't, you just overwhelm your business, support tickets are going to pile up, sales calls are going to get out of control, people aren't going to turn up, your funnel breaks, and complaints will start to mount because you're just not ready for volume. But once you've proven your model on one platform and you've optimized your funnel and you know your systems could actually work handling 400% more traffic without it breaking, then to me, Short form makes sense as a multiplier, but that is also why I don't think short form is the best place to start, like everyone tells you, amongst all of the other reasons I've just shared, but it can get amazing results for some people. So here is the system I've used to run a multi-million-dollar business now without any social media at all. And it comes down to just making a few pieces of content a week. And the first is I make one YouTube video a week, so 4 a month. This fires up my entire sales system because each video is designed for a very specific type of person. It's not to go viral. It's not to get 1 million views. And to make these videos and grow my business, this is what my diary looks like. So you can see in the mornings, I make YouTube videos. In the afternoons, I just work on leveling up my program and helping my clients and adding content and building new AI tools for them. Once the month's videos are done, I don't think about YouTube again until the next batch. And then I switch all of my focus back to just working on the program. So now my days might look like this, which means I can make that better faster too. And that's what drives the business growth, not getting loads of views. And then below each video I post, I just have this. The first link is often to my sales page. And that page has a short video on it and some details about the offer and a few hundred testimonials and shots of results. Now, because I can only serve 30 to 50 new clients a month, I had to bring in a waitlist system. And what we do is we open spots once a month and they sell out in 7 to 8 days. And to get that result, I email the waitlist 2 emails when the sales are open. There are only a few lines. That drives between 150 to 200 calls in that week. We cancel about 50% of them as you have to have certain things in place to be able to work with me. And then we convert about 50 to 60% of the people who are left to clients. Then below that, we have my second link, and that is to my email list. People will either sign up to a lead magnet or just sign up directly to me sending them weekly value. And then the second piece of content I post every week is just an email I send to my list. And it has a little small PS at the bottom that points people to my offer and my waitlist. That's it. To make millions from YouTube, I only need to post 4 videos a month. And if we add in the time it takes to write 4 emails, this is my life. And if you're like, wow, that sounds glorious. I want that work, not that work. I've made a video showing you the exact system you can use to do the same thing. And you can check it out right here. It's already helped hundreds of people get absolutely insane results.